Good to be with you folks tonight. As he said, we was on our way back from Hogue Sound. We go down there every year, get out of the cold weather, up north. But anyway, we go down there to camp meeting time and everything. And there we go. Okay, we go down there every year, seems like, in January, February, and March. And now we're on our way back home. So, so I don't know how I got into this, but Greg's going to owe me one. Because I don't like to get up in front of people and this and that. But anyway, we'll do what we can. I was glad tonight that whoever had that, Because He Lives, that's one of my favorite songs, Because He Lives. And where would we be if He didn't live, And that's just one of my, like I say, one of my favorite songs in the book there. Because He lives, we can face tomorrow, and I'm glad for that tonight. Well, God has been good to me. He's been good to us, give us a safe trip so far back from Hogue Sound, give us a trip down there, and good trip back. We're running in quite a bit of rain coming in Monday, but God is still the same yesterday, today, and forever, isn't He? He's still the same. That was one of the verses that He gave me today. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And another scripture that he'd give to me is in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. Now listen to this. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path. God has directed my path. Well, first of all, tonight, God has been with me. It's a wonder. It's a wonder tonight that I'm even here. But it's been the grace of God that's kept me down through the years, and I thank Him for it tonight. First of all, I got to say, as Greg mentioned very well ago, that I used to live in a little town there named Kennard, Indiana. Down there by Newcastle, Indiana. I don't know if anybody knows where it's at. Just west of Newcastle, we lived in a little shack or a little house there, My mom and I, and had an uncle. Uncle lived with me. And, of course, I was living in sin. I wasn't very old. I had to do for myself and so forth. And I used to run the streets at just a young age, younger than these boys. And I didn't have much of a chance to go. I had to do for myself. But when I come in at night, my uncle, he was sort of crippled. And I do things that he didn't like, of course, how kids was. And he couldn't catch me. See, he was kind of crippled. And like I say, the only time if I come in at night, that's the only time he could catch me. And then sometimes I didn't even come in. I went to wherever I could, And so, anyway, on with the story that I used to have to do for myself when I was younger. And I used to steal a lot as a kid. And, that's not right. That's not right. But I didn't know any better as a young kid. And I got to stealing and this and into other trouble. But it seems like I always got out of it for some reason. I don't know how, but I always got out of it and didn't get caught or anything like that. Must have been God. That's the only thing I know. But anyway, and then I used to, a long time ago, it's been 50 years or better now. But anyway, I used to hop trains, and that's not a very good thing to do. And these trains used to go in by there in Kennard and stop, back up and get other cars, and of course I have around there. And I jump them trains. A lot of time I went to Chicago even one time on a train. How I ever got there, I don't know. Why I got there, I don't know. But I was a kid just out wandering places to go. I didn't know where I was going. But anyway, the Lord was with me, and I didn't know it, see. But I came back and at Kennard, and we was around there. And that's the thing. I just just couldn't get, over. I was hopping them trains. And anyway, on with the story that when I lived in this town, I knew everybody in the town. It was just a population wasn't very big, and I knew pretty every place and everybody lived. And a lot of them knew me because I done a lot of stuff, and stuff, getting into trouble and so forth. But anyway, I had this grocery store there on the south end of town, had one on the north end of town, and we always done our shopping on the south end of town. And outside they had a box where the pastries come in, leaving. Now this is years ago, when they come in, leave donuts and baked goods and all that sort of stuff in this chest, before the store's open, and they didn't lock it, but I knew about what time they come. I knew what they put in there and everything, and I was always hiding someplace. Hiding because I wanted stuff to eat. I didn't get very much to eat. I had to do for myself, see. And so anyway, he'd come in and he'd leave, and I'd run right back over there to the thing, store manager, and nobody was around. They didn't lock them back then. I went over and helped myself. I didn't get a whole lot, but I got stuff, to help feed my body and stuff. But anyway, that's another thing that, you shouldn't be doing. But anyway, I stole stuff and so forth, and I didn't know any better. And didn't get caught. So anyway, I did that. And then so later on, I was put into a foster home and down by Winchester, Indiana. If some of you know where it's at, I don't know. Welfare took me. I must have been 12 or something like that. So they got a hold of me and took me and put me in this foster home, and these foster people kept me there for, I don't know how long I was there, for sure, I think a couple of weeks. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way they was doing me. They was good to me, but I wanted my way. See, I wanted my way. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And so anyway, I stayed a couple of weeks with them. And then I decided I'm not staying no more. I'm taking out of here. I'm going out. I'm leaving. They didn't know, so I was still in school then. I don't know what grade I was in, 6th, 7th grade. After school, I didn't even get on the bus or nothing. I just took off and left. So I went, and I don't remember even now where I go. It was been so long ago. But anyway, I left, and so after that, they got up with me, and they took me to an orphanage, an orphan's home down there by Winchester. It was a small orphanage there. I think they had 6 or 8 kids there. And later on, there was 4 left, and that left 4 to have us there. It had a couple girls and six boys, I think. But anyway, they left there, and they left 4 of us. And the 4 was Vern, Tom, me, and Frankie. And Vern, he was the oldest. Tom was next. I was next, and then Frankie. Frankie came from the same place I did there in Newcastle. I didn't know him until he came in there. And they brought him in, and we got to be real good friends. And so anyway, we went on staying there in the home, and after a while, Vern left, Tom left, I was still there, Frankie left later on. And he went in back to Newcastle and got out, got home there, and went to live with these folks, which really wasn't good. And so anyway, I got out later on, and later on I found out that he liked to drink, and you know what that does to young people, young kids. And so anyway, I found out one day, I don't know if it was somebody brought it to me or newspaper or what it was. I think somebody brought it to me. And found out that he went out one night. He went out one night and he was drunk. Sat down here by the railroad track one night. He didn't know what was going on. Later on, here come a train, you know. The conductor seen something was on the track. He didn't know what it was. You know, they can't stop them trains in just a short notice. Finally, he hit Frankie. Of course, you know, there he was, all splattered out, just in pieces, you know. Well, I could have been with him, you know. Frankie and I was real good friends. And it was just by the mercies of the Lord that kept me from, you know, not being with him and stuff. And I could, like I say, I could have been there. I could have been the same thing. Now, of course, I didn't get into drinking or much into that stuff like that. But yeah, I probably would have if I'd have left and went with him, or something. But anyway, train come along, got him. Like I say, the Lord just spared me once again, Like I say, I could have been with him, could have been killed, and went out into eternity, lost without God. But God spared me, which I thank him for that, which he did many, many times. So anyway, after I left, when I left that home, and they closed it up, I guess. It was run by the Friends Church, really ran it. I left there, didn't have no place to go. I must have been, I don't know how old, 13 or 14 or something like that. And they took me to White's Institute, which is another place up by Wabash there where we live now. It had quite a few kids there. I was sent there because I didn't get in trouble. Well, I did get in trouble, but welfare just sent me there to a place to go with other kids. Had been in trouble, and some of them didn't have no place to go, so they sent me there, and I was there for I don't know how long, a year and a half or something like that, until I got older. And I had to abide by their rules, of course, and I wasn't used to that, being young and so forth. I wanted to do my stuff. And so anyway, we went in there and I had to go in. Of course, I had divisions, and I was in one of the divisions there that had boys in it. Go in at lunchtime, and of course you go down the aisle and go through this, and yeah, you had to say please, and if you want something to eat. Well, I wasn't used to that stuff, but anyway, I had to do it and so forth. But anyway, I think, like I say, I was there for a year and a half, and I left there and went out and got older and had to get a job, and got this one job and worked on it for a while, and then anyway, I had this other person that I went with. Actually, it would have been another foster lady that took me in. She took me in at a young age and taught me in the right path to go. And I called her really my mother, really. And like I say, she took care of me. And she led me to the Lord there. And I'm glad that I ran into her, at a young age. And she took care of me and led me to the Lord. And I found the Lord there younger, and which I did. Like I say, I wouldn't have been here today if it hadn't been for him, and him keeping his hand upon me down through the years. And so anyway, like I say, she led me there, and so she lived upstairs, and I lived in another place there for a while before, and then she took me. And then after that, when I got a job and got out and got my life going and got everything straightened up with my life, and of course I married this young woman back there sitting in the green. And so anyway, I found her out in Pennsylvania, lived there in Indiana, married in Indiana, went to Florida, and got engaged in Florida. And then Lord gave us two young boys. And so anyway, we had these two young boys, and, well, not so young now, one 41, and the other one would have been 38. And I lost him about 20 years ago, my youngest boy. That was a little hard to do. But God led me through. Like I say, if it hadn't been for the Lord, I wouldn't have made it. God has led me down through this life. He's kept his hand upon me. And I do thank him for all he's done for me. Been so good to me. And we don't want to, we want to be led by the hand of God. Where he leads, we want to follow. And I'm just thankful for him tonight. Thankful to be here. Thankful for everything he's done for me. Anybody got any questions or anything? I'll try to answer them if I can.
Walter, was that
That was the lady I said that was the foster who really took me in. That was her brother. Yeah. That is the one that really led me to the Lord. Yeah. Oh, I was probably 16, 17, and I first got saved, but I backslid then, of course, and I got back to the Lord later on, and and stuff, and yeah, I was probably in that age, some around in there. Yeah, it's been so long, man. You just after 50-some years, you forget some things.
not to give the young people any ideas, but you
no.
got to tell some of the things you did on the training camp.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, we used to, back then, I don't know, I used to set some, well, it wasn't good, really, but I didn't know, we didn't know any better. Some of us young kids used to get shotgun shells and put them on them tracks, train go by, you know what they're going to do, they're going to go off, you don't know where they're going to go, and stuff like that. Set stuff in there, and we even set some of the things that some spikes on there, which you shouldn't be doing stuff like that. We was kids, we didn't know any better. We did know, but we just didn't care. Let's put it that way. We just didn't care. You know what I mean? You know how young kids is today. Today it's worse now than it was back when I was younger. They didn't have some of the things back then that they have now, like the drugs and all that sort of stuff, which I didn't get in, which I'm thankful for that. But if it had probably had it back then, well, I would have probably tried to get in it. But I'm glad that they didn't have stuff back then.
Did you say one family almost adopted you?
Yeah, that was down there in Newcastle. This one family, he was a sheriff, and he kind of took me under his wings. And I stayed with them there in the jail. I wasn't in the jail part, although I've been in jail for a while. But sorry to say, but anyway, but he sort of took me under his wings, and he wanted to really adopt me when I was younger. But his wife didn't want to because they had a daughter, and so they just didn't. He wanted to, she didn't want to. But anyway, things went on, and I went on to the foster, to that home stuff, so they took me there and stuff. I stayed until I was younger, but anyway, he's passed on, she's passed on now and stuff, and so forth. Yeah.
Was Walter did he work at one of the homes?
He came there at White's to work, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was there. Run by the Friends, and White's, that's the name of the White's Institute, and the Friends. It was the Friends denomination, and the Friends ran it, yeah. But they closed the orphanage there in Winchester where I lived there, and I was the only one left, so they took me there. And I spent probably a year and a half.
They put you in the orphanage with your mom already in the home?
Yeah, she was already in a home at the time. Yeah. Yeah, I separated from her I must have been 11 years old, something like that. Yeah. Wherever I was at, yeah. Yeah, as a young lad, I didn't care. It didn't make any difference to me. Yeah, it didn't matter to me. Well, that was hard. It really was. I didn't hardly know, and I didn't do much in that in the winter. It was, oh yeah, sure. Now, they have a lot of that down in Florida. Down south, you have a lot of that because it stays warm all the time. And you have a lot of homeless people down there. A lot. Yeah. All over. You can see them all over. Yeah. No, not too much, because I always got back in towards the back, and they didn't even really even know you were there. They really didn't even know you were there. No, and it was dark usually anyhow. So you see, it's dark like that, and I got on. I could have fell. I could have slipped. I could have slipped under the train. A lot of things could have happened to me. But there I was. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. One time I remember doing it. but most of the time it was short things, short runs. Just guessing then, but I knew where the short runs was. I knew where the short were. Go hop them. Yeah. Who is it? Belvic. Is there?
Yeah.
Name seemed like a little familiar, but I.
Belvic Gray works with the same home.
Yeah. Yeah, that seemed like, a name seems. Oh, yeah, I had to work there. I was under, I had to do what they had for me to do, which I was on the dairy force there, and I had to milk them cows. I had to get up. I don't know. I doubt it if they are now. No. I had. Oh yeah, I used to have to do that. He jerked me around a few times because I used to smoke like that, and he didn't like that. But anyway, I was just a kid, and stuff. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I used. I didn't. No, well, no, I didn't try it anymore. But anyway, well, anybody got any other? Yeah, that's there. Yeah, all right. Then at the time, yeah. 4 of them for a while, and then the 2, and then they just had me. Yeah. Out of the 4 boys, I was the most unlikable boy of all of them, but I ended up the best. And the other 3's gone. The other 3's passed on. And but here I am. That's what I say. If it hadn't been for him, I wouldn't have been here. I know I wouldn't have been here. I had an uncle I was telling you about that lived with us. He said I'd be in the penitentiary before I was 12 years old. Yeah. Thank the Lord that nothing happened, anything. Yeah. But he's kept his hands down on me down through life, and here I still am, and I never knew my father, and my mother got ill, and she really wasn't able to take care of me. I knew that she went to this home, and it was like an old folks home back then. And and they took and put her in there. She was getting up. Oh, she wasn't ever getting up in real old age, but she was getting up there, and she couldn't get around and stuff. And when I first started in, probably 10 or 11, something like that. Yeah. That's young. Oh man, that's young. Well, yeah. But I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid of nothing. But back then, you didn't know. Back then, you didn't. No. Like I said, 55 years ago, things wasn't quite as bad as they are now. Yeah. But anyway, anybody else got anything? You want, young people, you want to give your heart to the Lord as soon as you can. You get older, you don't know, He will see you through. He'll lead you in the way that you should go. He won't forsake you or nothing, but He'll lead you in the way that you should go. He did me, even though I didn't even know it. He led me down through the life. Okay, that it? Anybody?
Had you had, before RuthAnna, had you had any other places where you were at?
No, it's the only
Where
ones.
they witnessed you and endeavored spiritually to help you?
No. Well, when I was younger, there with my mother there, when I lived there in Kennard, we went to this Nazarene church, and they did a little bit. But we went there when I don't know, 8, 9 years old or something like that, and I didn't remember a whole lot. I remember going in there, yeah. I didn't hear that.
What about the Quaker home?
The orphan's home? Yeah, we had to go to church there. Yeah, we had to go to church there, and like I say, that was run by the Friends, a Friends denomination, and they had a big Friends church there in Winchester, and we had to go there of a morning. We went. Well, it's us boys, and of course, like I say, I was the unlikable one. We had to sit up towards the front, and I sat on the front seat. Alder was right close there. I didn't know any difference or nothing. And Alder was right close there. Of course, when after church, I heard about things, Being a little kid, I put my feet up on the altar, and I just, you know how that is, kids, like that. And so after church, I always heard about this and that, but it didn't matter to me. I didn't care back then. But we had to, yeah. And then at nighttime, Walter, that's the guy that ran the home there, we had to go to their church, and it was the Pilgrim Holiness Church. And that was a little bit different there than it was there at the Friends Church. But we had to go there at night. But
Walter was the brother of the woman.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Not then, no. I didn't even know. No, I didn't. No. He died. He passed on. Yeah, he used to, like I say, he used to get after me, but I didn't care. He couldn't catch me. The only time he could catch me was at night. Matter of fact, one time I do remember he was after me. And I was upset, angry, I picked up a pair of scissors and I throwed it at him and hit him, and I think it hit him in the stomach. And it kind of hurt him a little bit. But I was young. I didn't care. You know what I mean. Yeah. And he passed on later, I think, young age, 59, I think it was. But, yeah. Anything else? Well, I do love the Lord tonight. He's been good with me. Been good to me.